A round of applause goes to blue player Bradley Stephen. This player from New Zealand have been completely defeated. Elong, the most famous warrior monk in China. Next, please fight him. China red side player GENG Shu Guang. Blue player Bradley Stephen, 24 years old, from New Zealand, height 178 centimeters, career record 38 wins from 43 games, KO opponents 27 times. Okay, let's get to know each other. Our red player GENG Shu Guang. GENG Shu Guang is 21 years old and comes from China, height 180 centimeters, professional record 10 wins and 15 fights. Serve as referee for this match, Mr. Bao Gaoshan, please. Hello, audience friends. Welcome to continue watching Emei Legend World Fighting Championship. This is a 75 kilograms competition. Then the blue player Stephen is from New Zealand. Red player GENG Shu Guang. He is a Chinese young general. Where is this Stephen? Once defeated the Monkey Long. Defeat Monkey Long, of course. It doesn't measure his strength. It is possible that the level is high. It is also possible that the level is low. We still have to look at the performance in today's game. But in terms of body shape, look at Coach Dong. This Stephen is very muscular. The back muscles and deltoid muscles are very developed. I watched him take off his vest. That logo on his vest. It's a sign of MMA. From the body shape, I think it looks a bit similar. Yes, judging from his body shape, he is indeed more like an MMA player. The armrest is also held relatively low. Yes. GENG Shu Guang was born as a Sanda player. 3rd place in National Sanda Championship. This Stephen reminds me of a famous Hollywood superstar Tom Hardy. Acted in an MMA-themed movie where the brothers. Look at these back muscles, warrior. He is very much like that brother. His muscle type, including his walking posture, are very similar. Although he is an MMA fighter, I see that his movements are very strong in all aspects of striking. The backhand comes right out. Just now it was a very clear high punch to the abdomen. The beating made GENG Shu Guang take a step back. GENG Shu Guang was born as a Sanda athlete. Movement should be more flexible. This Stephen is very fast. Use this boxing technique to open a path, then swipe low. Stephen is pressing tightly. Stephen's style of play is so strange. You see, he is actually a serious player, but the hand shaking forward is his right hand. The right hand sometimes reaches further than the left hand. The typical defense style is a bit like a form of defense similar to boxing. Furman. The boxing frame looks special. Use your shoulders. You see, all boxing defenses are shoulder-raising defenses. GENG Shu Guang must pay attention to what happens after Stephen enters. This continuous up and down crossover, especially the defense of the abdomen, must be strengthened. From the first game, it was Stephen who took advantage of his boxing skills, pressing step by step. I want to fight this kind of positional war with GENG Shu Guang. GENG Shu Guang has always adopted a retreat and roundabout tactic. What about Stephen's results? It's 43 games, 38 wins and 27 KOs. The KO rate is very high, judging from his muscle type. He is indeed this type of player. And GENG shu guang is obviously taller. Advantages. So I think GENG shu guang needs to make more use of his straight line technology. Effectively control your opponent first. Simply withdrawing is not enough. In the process of retreat, harass the other party. Let the opponent's attack can effectively disrupt the opponent's rhythm. GENG shu guang came up in the second round, becoming a little more proactive. This sudden knee rise seems difficult. Effectively hit the opponent. Let's look at GENG shu guang's footwork and stance. Move in this footwork. Typical of this is that he was born as a Sanda athlete, but don't move into the corner. It's very taboo to be cornered by your opponent and apply constant pressure. Yes, because you can't leave either side. When you can't move away from me, can't walk away from left to right, and in front of you is your opponent, so you can only go. You can only choose to attack with the opponent. If you can't beat your opponent in a confrontation, that would be very troublesome. So you must give yourself the right and left, especially find your own movement after left and right. Leave enough space. This GENG shu guang has been suppressed and beaten by the other party. If this continues, the consequences will be disastrous. Steven's left hand hit the liver with an uppercut. There is a lot of pressure on GENG shu guang. After entering the body, 2 consecutive combination punches. Just an uppercut. This uppercut to the ribs was particularly clear, you see. You still have this kind of tie throwing that destroys the opponent's balance? After 2 people approach each other at a close distance. In terms of physical confrontation, GENG shu guang is not as good as Steven. This is not a valid hit, just a high sweep defense off balance. But GENG shu guang is now forced into this corner by Steven. Get out of this corner as soon as possible. Hitting yourself at this corner of the rope will do a lot of damage to you. This kind of being pressed step by the opponent. Then when his own actions didn't have much effect, it will have a great impact on your confidence in taking action. And you see, once Steven is with the other party, after carrying the opponent to the corner of the rope, sometimes the first move he makes is an uppercut and a heavy punch. There is no way to open the way with the light punch of the front hand, just hit hard. And under great psychological pressure, physical energy should be consumed very quickly. I think GENG shu guang's tactics just now are right. If you want to leave, if you want to turn around and leave, do a leg sweep first. Sweep your legs before moving. Very good. Let's look at it from the first game or the first half of the second game. GENG shu guang's movement is relatively clear, more flexible, but as physical fitness and own pressure increase, my own pace is a bit slow. This would give Steve a great chance. He'll definitely be able to follow you in. So entering the third round, if GENG shu guang's physical strength is consumed even more, it will be more dangerous to fight like this. This is also a typical flash player. Face Muay Thai or kickboxing. When a player like this who is good at mid and short range attacks, a situation often arises. Yes, and you see, I see this Steven, when punching an opponent at close range. After punching out, defense with the other hand. Always put it next to my chin. The defense is very tight, very close. That typical Sanda player background. His mid to long range single distance attacks are very fast, but because of his technical characteristics and style, rarely use mid to close range attacks. Yes, because of the original Sanda rules. Sometimes there's a 2-second hug or a 3-second hug. That restriction is separated. Yes, once you enter this hugging distance, you haven't done the action for 2 or 3 seconds yet. The referee has pulled away, so I don't have that piecemeal training to do. The restrictions of the rules lead to the movement of flash players in the middle and short range. Work and exert force. There is particularly little movement strength and confrontation training. It is very scarce in his technical reserves. As a result, as soon as the opponent presses in, his habitual retreat. Look, I just saw Steven's technique. Or left hand and left foot in front, but stretch your right hand forward. The right hand stretched forward is a bit like the strict technique of Muay Thai. He doesn't look like Muay Thai. If we can effectively control our opponents, just control, if controlled well, he can also take out this right hand directly. Back then I punched him with a straight punch. In fact, the right hand typically uses right shoulder forward. Use your right hand to hit the front hand. Shake and flash immediately after the fight. Typical boxing style. Yes. Don't run. Don't run. Go, go, go. GENG shu guang faced Steven's powerful and suppressive attack today. At present, it still seems a bit stretched. Elbow. This Steven also has a strong boxing training background. Look at the guy who just held his head and pushed it in. Is this a typical boxer's style of fighting? We just saw a meeting. That attempt to close the distance. Do this kind of medium and close distance with Steven, this mutual fight. But in his technical system, there is no effort in this regard, or some confrontational ones, some defensive training, and GENG shu guang is getting up on his knees. There is also relatively little done on this technology. In fact, sometimes if you can, protect your head, more knee-jerk words. To a certain extent, for good boxers, it's a good way to restrain yourself, but GENG shu guang's skills seem to be rarely used. Let's start with the use of a technical action. First of all, the power of your single movement. You have to know, well, we ordinary Sanda players have less training in this area. Choosing to exert force becomes a certain problem, and then there's not to mention the use of technology. Look at GENG shu guang when he got up from his knees. Sometimes he even raises his knees in the air or from a distance. This kind of knee strike. After all, he is still too big. It is difficult to hit effectively at once, although his own attack power is quite strong. But it's still useless if you can't hit it, so this is still a difference in the technical system. So let's see who can win this game. Referee number 1 scores 28 to 30. Referee number 2 scores 27 to 30. Referee number 3 scores 27 to 30. The final result is that the blue team wins. The winner is blue color.